day is Monday. It is Monday, July 28th, 2025, and this is the Hazel Park Amateur Radio Club committee of the Detroit Area Repeater Team, the DART. So today we're going to talk about the latest developments in two areas now. One is for the antenna. And the second part that we want to begin the conversation on how we're going to approach the purchase of the equipment and the equipment rack and all of the items that make the system work. So that's what we'll cover today. So just a reminder to everybody, and let me get my my pointer out here. Just a reminder of what we're talking about. So this is our existing antenna here on the left. This is the UHF antenna, which we need to talk a little bit about because it's been sort of has fallen off the radar screen. So we'll wait a minute. We'll let Hugh join us. But I do want to point out, and so I put the slide in about this. So we'll talk about replacing this antenna and what we need to do there. So. Okay, so Hugh, welcome Hugh, and Mark is here, W8MAF, and of course John and Len and Joe. So at the top, at the very top, so this is what we refer to as the utility penthouse. And of course it has like the elevator room and the various HVAC equipment that it takes to run the building. And we are very fortunate that there used to be the T-Mobile. T-Mobile had quite a bit of equipment up here, actually, and it has since been removed. But we have,
okay.
we have the Unistrut that's left over, so we're hoping that we can use that, and we have all the permissions and all the paperwork and all the stuff is done. Finally, it's submitted. We submitted it a week ago, and I was hoping to be able to talk to them today, but I'll reach out to them tomorrow, and we'll see what the status of all that is. But in the meantime, we do have some forward movement in the purchase of the duplexer. So we'll talk about that in just in just a minute. Oh. Okay. So we'll talk about that and a few other things too. So let's just roll through this. So again, this is just the close-up. I think this could do the trick. The response that we did get back from the building management is that they don't want any more holes drilled in the side of the building here, and I don't blame them. And there are plenty that we can work with. And the reason that I bring that up is because this is in reference to the UHF antenna, which is right here, on exactly what we're going to do with that. So we'll get back to that in a minute. All right. Let me just scroll through some of this. So now, interesting. Here is our budget, but we're going to move things around a little bit in order to fit things up. So right now we have 5 categories, right? We have the VHF antenna. Then we have the hardware, which is what we're going to begin the process of sorting out and getting the recommendations and making the purchase orders and so on and so on. And then the UHF hardware, that's at the other repeater site. The networking, so work is slow, but it's progressing forward. And W8 HOO and Tony N8VR have been doing a good job on that. So that brings us here to the last portion of the allocation. You see tools, connectors, supplies, and labor. So labor is a big one. All our labor will come out of here. And here's one adjustment we're going to make, and we'll have this ready next week. So this is the budget for phase 1, what I'm calling phase 1. Basically, it's the antenna. the antenna system. Now, interestingly, so we look at all this, and this has been it was created, uh, it was refined and gone through and updated. And anyway, so this is where we are right at the moment. But if you look down here, you can see that according to our allocation that I showed previously, we're about $3,500, $3,400, right, over our budget. But look up here for a minute. Oh, interesting, $3,900. And of course, that's the duplexer. So what to keep this thing on track, what I'm proposing here is that we'll leave everything in the VHF antenna department, and then we'll take the money for the duplexer out of the tools, connectors, and supply. Basically, it's the contingency. Also, I'll add that to this too. That will be our contingency, because there's other things that'll pop up. The equipment rack is another. We have to buy an equipment rack, so that would come out of this department as well, and other things along the way. All right, so that's all that. We're currently, again, we're waiting to hear back from the building manager. We would like to get the ideally the electrician who works in the building to help us with the antenna, maybe the plumber. So we'll have some movement on that.
Can I get a copy of that, Joe? I can't take it off
Certainly.
of here.
Yes,
I need a copy of that.
did I not send you a copy?
Oh, you may have, but
I'll
I
do it
couldn't
again.
find it.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
I'm
Absolutely. I
sorry.
know. Believe me, I get it. Yeah, for sure. Okay. And I'll give you the Excel version of it, right? And then this version too, if you want to, this
Anything like that, just shoot
just
it
a
over to me.
slide.
I'd
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll do that. And working with you there. I think we'll do that as a group. Okay, so that's who we are there. So we're doing okay on all that. Let's see. I've got some other things here. This is the antenna. Yeah, this is the antenna we're looking at. There was some discussion. But this is, where we're going forward on that. I see the slide is a little bit off here. I just anyway, okay. Again, oh, the specifications are almost identical to the antenna that we currently have in place, and it's performed brilliantly over the last 40 years. So it's basically the modern version of that. I would imagine that even there must have been, I'd imagine, some advances even in the fiberglass technology. So I don't know, maybe this antenna that we're buying today might last 100 years. I don't know. But I think the two biggest things with the antennas, the wind, of course, that's obvious, but also the UV radiation. So over time, that begins to break down. And, our antenna is still in a good place, but it's still in a good place. But it's beginning to show wear and tear. Okay. What else okay, so let's continue forward here. So this was, again, this was just me trying to, I don't know. This is the footprint, the elevation, not the footprint, what's the word? The radiation angles and stuff. And I was just curious if you put the geometry together, my daughter's calling. Just what would this area be? Because the guys who live within 2 or 3 miles of the repeater don't have the same reception that people further out have. So just something to think
No,
about.
based on the height of the building, the angle of the signal, the buildings blocks anybody that's within maybe a block or so of the building.
Right, right. And so I was trying to just get to the shadow. So
Yeah,
I was
shadow.
just
Yeah.
trying to get a sense of what that shadow might look like, and I thought, well, geometrically, I mean, this is all drawn to scale, the building part anyway. And then I put this on there to show the center. That's where the utility room is there. And then our antennas would be right there. So this would be the line of sight. So
Oh, okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
but we should, we need to get some RF measuring equipment out there, and I know I've been talking about it for some time, and we're really at that point now where we could be starting to do that, especially now that as the weather begins to cool down a little bit. Okay, next, what else we got here? What is this? Tillway. Oh, so this is the antenna, I think. Yes, yes. So just some of the. Oh, you know. I was looking through the slides just before and I came across this, and I have to say that this is the coolest slide ever, I think.
Yeah.
This picture was taken Saturday morning after breakfast, and a couple of us were going to go up and, go to the roof, and it was really foggy that day, and it just wasn't the sort of day that you would go to the roof. But I went anyway, and look, it was a great photo.
It is.
Yeah, we'll put this on the website. That's all right, good. All right, some close-up pictures. And all right, so here's totally got left off the charts here. Got dropped off the radar screen. So we got to work this in. Now the difference is the VHF antenna, don't forget, is like 22 feet tall, something like that. This here is about 6'3". So we're not going to have the extreme loading, wind loading, and issues that we have with the larger antenna. So there's something about that. But I wanted to just put these slides into our file here so that we remember we're going to have to address this. And these are uh, the characteristics here. We have the gain. Where am I here? I'm going to turn off my phone just because it's a little bit distracting. Hold on. There. Okay. So a couple of things here. Again, we have it's a good antenna. It's got 7 dBi of gain, so that's a good thing there. 100 watts. We're only going to use it for receive only, so we don't really care. And it's up in the 440 range. That's the UHF antenna to receive the remote sites and so on. So here you can see 76 inches, which comes out. Do the math, it's like 6'3" or something like that. Anyway, so I mean the whole thing weighs 6 pounds, so that's something to think about here. All right. Our polyphaser, that's just a lightning arrestor, so we'll get that. That's on the list there as well. We don't currently have lightning arresters that I'm aware of. I'm not sure about that, but we do have a grounding system that uses the steel structure of the building as the ground. And Polyphaser, that's the company. Okay, so here the main event of the evening here is the duplexer. So these are our existing duplexers, and as you can see, they've been around the block a bit. On the left side, this is receive. On the right three are transmit, and you can tell because the transmit has a red tag and the receive has a green tag. By adjusting these posts, that's how you tune it. But that's not really for the uninitiated. The only person I know who's ever tuned one who doesn't do it professionally is Murray. And so he did it a number of years ago, but that was a long, long time ago. So I'm not sure, that would be something we would want them to do there at the factory and just to these specifications. So this is what I understand is on order. Len, can you update us of what have you heard anything more than what we talked about the other day?
Negative. I've reached out. Let me say that Mike and I are in communication and a positive communication, and we're going to be working together with Hugh and of course yourself
Great.
To get this account established. I learned a couple things this past week. I explained to you. So they want a purchase order to work with, as opposed to just open up an account. They want to work with a purchase order. So this could be one of the first things that we actually purchase. But we might as well present everything to them at one time, or at least as much as we can.
If I can.
Is that Hugh? Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. If I can, I've got a phone call into Bob for that very subject. How do we go about doing the purchase order?
Right. Here's what I would suggest. So we need in one central location a spreadsheet with the purchase orders, and the purchase orders the numbers would start as of the date of the purchase, like 07/25, 2025 -1 or -2 or -3, depending on how many purchase orders are issued in that day. If the purchase orders are updated, which they often are, after the numeral will be like 1A, 1B, 1C, that sort of a thing. But then also too, I think maybe we put in like the initials of the person who initiated the order. And by initiating the order, what I'm really trying to say is the person who said we should get this, So, but something like that would be what the PO sequence would be like. So, but if you could, Hugh, if you could work with Bob and is this something that Reuven gets involved in? I'm not sure, but anyway.
No, I don't think so. I think this is Bob's territory, and like I said, I've got a phone call into him.
Great.
Hope to have that resolved very quickly.
Excellent.
All it takes is one officer and the treasurer,
right,
to execute a purchase order.
Right. I can't sign it. I'm not one of those officers. But my thought was to get Bob, have everything in order. So we just have to send it out.
I guess we need, I think. Okay, got it.
That's why I need that list that you just had up there a minute ago.
So, you know what? Let me just list. Hold on.
And Mike Cleary, VPC, has all that in a cart, but it's under his own personal. No. So that's not going to work.
No, we can't.
Right, but if we can, I've got to call into Mike. He offered to provide that information for his account, and if I can get maybe a conference call or just get this count information, John, their antenna farm will make the transition, and we'll iron this thing out hopefully this week for sure.
I'm leaving for up north tomorrow morning. I'll be back on Sunday, but I email, phone calls, all that. I'm still available.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
And sounds like Mike Cleary sent me pictures of those cabinets, racks, cabinet rack or rack cabinets, I guess you call them.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just what we need. He's got two of them. All we need is one, really. And
how tall are they?
They're 74 inches, or maybe he says 7 foot, but they're about the same size as the one that's in there now.
It's a 19-inch rack from end to end, 19 inches.
Yeah, they're 19 inches for the equipment inside, but the height of them, you want a full height.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about the wheels. Well, really, we don't need wheels on it. Once it's in place, they don't need wheels.
No, I don't think
we do want the doors on it. We want it enclosed. We do want to put fans inside. One of them has a filter system in there, and that filter element obviously will be part of a maintenance.
Do you have it handy? Can you put them up on the screen, or you don't have them like?
You sure you don't want that fan on the top, not the side? Most cabinets have the fan on the top.
This correct. Yes, Chief.
Yeah,
Well,
my
there's two
experience
ways.
with those have been that the fan on the bottom blowing in, the fan on the top to exhaust,
Right.
blow air through it.
Well, there's two ways to ventilate an equipment room. One is when you have the floor is raised like not 3 feet, but maybe a foot and a half off the cement. There's you pick up the tiles and the cables run underneath. But also what runs in there is the ventilation. And so there's two ways of doing it. Like what Mark said, by putting all the cold air under the floor and then it comes up through the rack and then it gets exhausted out of the top. So that's one way of doing it. But there's a second way, and it depends on where the racks are coming from, is you have a cold aisle, a hot aisle, a cold aisle, and a hot aisle, and they're actually there's like swinging doors, but they kind of keep the temperature alternating like that, and so that the racks can be ventilated from the front to the back, if that's the kind of situation. So there's two ways of doing it. So
I've never seen that way.
yeah, but
Challenge is going to be that since Mike is tied up down here, it sounds like he cannot get away. I don't know how we're going to get him right off.
I don't even know how much they are used.
Well, used, went from $100 to $500 used,
How much?
and
500?
up. Yeah, it
Oh,
could
okay.
be, depends on, but the thing is all the usements I saw that were any of interest were out of state for one thing, and that's
Yeah.
going to take in some shipping. And the other thing is they're going to take quite a bit of rework to get them usable. So
Probably.
yeah, and if you get one that's
You know who
ready
has
to
a
go,
rack? Maybe we should reach out to Sean, because I know at the top of the hospital there's a number of racks in there, and it's old equipment. They don't even use it anymore. It's like old radio equipment,
I'll reach out to Sean. I'll ask him about that.
and
See what he can come up with the racks.
he would be glad to provide
Yes,
whatever is necessary.
good idea.
Yeah. So, all right, that'd be great. Okay. Anyway, so the rack, that's got to happen before anything. So, very important. All
We
right.
can order things before that. We got to get things in, because
Yeah.
we don't know if what the delay is going to be to get the antenna. Is that going to be custom made? That could be weeks out before we actually get possession of it. And any other, this is not high production equipment that we're ordering, especially like the duplexer and these tune things. Those
Yeah.
are custom made.
And
These
the other
custom
thing,
tuned.
is we're going into August. So the guys who like custom make these things, who knows? They go on vacation. I don't know, but we are getting to that time of year, I guess. Anyway, keep going one foot in front of the other, and we'll get there eventually.
And
Okay.
as far as the cabinets are concerned, I'm about 2 hours away from where he's at in East Jordan, right up by Traverse City. But my truck is not going to be available until about the second week of September. Anne-Marie's taken the truck with some girlfriends and going to Black Rock, Nevada. And she's
Yeah.
going to be gone for a month.
Good for that.
Sounds like we'd have to rent a truck anyway. Mike wants to clear out his rental place up there, and he's going to load up a U-Haul truck, sounds like. So we'll be
Well,
putting
there
the
you go.
cabinets in with that. So
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like. I don't know how we're going to work that out, but
Well, if my truck's available, I'm willing to do that. But like I said, the truck isn't available until about the second week of September.
I'll tell. Well, yeah. We could. Correct. Okay. Good.
So who's the director of the club now? I forgot.
The what?
Director?
Dave Hugh,
W-A-O.
WHOO.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just take all the equipment and drop it off in his driveway.
Oh, yes. Thanks, John.
Sure. The neighbors would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just because I just can't help myself sometimes when I see a good chart. So we're buying the duplexer on the right. And the difference is, of course, our transmit and receive is separated by 600 kilohertz, right? So really, the 1454, right? One would do, I suppose, but for another few dollars, you get significantly more isolation. So, I mean, 100 dB isolation, I mean, that's a lot. And so I think over the long term, it's the right way to go. I mean, if we're buying 25 of them, it might be a different story, but if this is one, it's got to last a long time. So I think we're very wisely going with the
Mhm.
three cylinders.
Joe,
Yeah.
you mentioned about contacting Vera. Um, w-
Oh,
w-
yes.
were you going to call? You going to do that this week?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and she could work with advise us since she does that kind of work. And I know we're talking about Bob too. I mean, it's stuff that, but between the two of them, we can come up with a system for purchasing.
Sure, that would be ideal. And all right, it's on my list. Okay, thank you for the reminder. All right, so that's duplexer, just other stuff. I don't really have a whole, this is the kit, the grounding kit, that we're going to get two of these. They're not really very expensive, and it's an important part of what we do. And this is one of the things that Mike added. And they're little things you get left off, but thank goodness we got this in time, so we'll have adequately good grounding system. The one thing I would say when we get to ordering the equipment, do not order the Heliax yet, because we don't know how long it's going to be, and this kind of installation, I mean, that's you know it's just, we could do better than that, I think. So we'll order the Heliax. In the meantime, we could use a piece of coax just to run testing and stuff like that. So although, you know what, I'll leave it up at we got to get the equipment rack. We got to get the cylinders in the duplexer. And then once we have that in and bolted to the floor and we know it's not going to move, then we can measure for the Heliax. So, all right, anyway,
What
just
are we
that.
using now? We're using Helix now, or are we using just
Yeah,
coax?
this is Heliax here. This is us, and this is the one end of it. If you look right, let me just see. Where am I pointing here? Oh, if you look right here, I think is where it is. This is where it connects into the duplexers, and then this is just a loop because there was extra. It comes up this section of the wall, and it comes around, and this is where it goes outside, and where we see it in the antennas mounted just directly above, although this picture doesn't show,
Can
but
you go back one slide, Joe?
yeah, sure. Here, you mean?
No, and one after that. Yeah,
Uh,
now you had a picture of, I thought it was what the end of a Helix connector looks like.
oh, I bet I do in there somewhere. I bet I do, because I have bunches
Right
of.
there.
Oh, this here, you mean? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, this is not,
Is that what Helix looks
but
like? I'm
that's
not familiar with it.
what it is. Well, this is something called Superflex, so it's kind of in the middle.
Oh, okay.
It's called Hardline, but this is a product that's really now widely used. But this is solid copper. It has much better shielding, and
Yeah.
also it has extremely, extremely low loss. So, for example, ideally we'll go 30 feet, maybe 30 feet, and there'll be practically no loss, which on the transmit side's not a big deal, but on the receive side, it's very important because we want to get those weak signals in there.
No, okay.
So
Yeah,
but that's what it looks like. Yeah, this is,
I worked with Hardline and I worked with coax, but
yeah, it's in the middle, the Superflex.
okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
here's another brand, Infinite. Well, this is what the company
Mhm.
I'm familiar with. And, Pasternak too. Anyway, okay. Oh, here we go.
More
Okay,
than what you
well,
need for home.
okay, so that's oh, so at some point I would love to get to this project, but it'll be a while. And that's really, let me just see if there's anything else I have to report. And then we'll go around, and we will ask questions. Oh, you know what I do want to do? I'll just go through this real quick. But seeing as we're now thinking about equipment and hardware, so this would be the Motorola equivalent to the Quantar in today's world, significantly smaller, huh?
Yeah.
And also it's less power too. It's only, I think, it's only 50 watts. So we'll have to figure that out. But that's the and then this is the controller, the repeater controller by Arcom. So we need we need folks to take a close look at this and make sure that we all understand what all this does. It has a lot of features. And the controller. So we got that. Oh, so yeah. So we're working on our dish. All right. Let me just see what else we may have. I think that's all right. Oh, I just want to show off. So I took this. I'm rigging up a system where I can split an RF feed, and one leg goes to the spectrum analyzer, but the other leg goes to the oscilloscope. So I bought these. They were listed as transformers, from the online store there. And then when I got them, they're half the size of my little fingernail on my little finger. They're like incredibly small. So I couldn't see them, so I put it under the microscope and I just took a picture, and this is it. But so the project's done. I soldered it up, and it it works terrific. Really works nice. So that was just kind of fun. But I don't know what that I think while I was doing this happened to be the program that was open, and that's why I guess I stuck it in there. So
Mhm.
all right, let's start with Len, and then John, and then Mark, and then Hugh and Lester. So let me ask Len, are there any
Yeah.
outstanding issues or anything that you have or that we can address further?
We're looking forward to hearing from Vera and from Bob and getting that cleared up on the purchase agreement. And we'll be working with Mike this week. I hope didn't have his phone number, so I sent him an email, and hopefully we'll be able to get in touch and get that list and get established with Antenna Farm. I assume they're the best ones to do business with. At least it's the ones that Mike has uh, gravitated to. Um, um, and that's where I'm at. Something else I was going to say, but yeah, I'll look forward to getting that stuff from you, Joe.
Yeah.
Those lists.
Right after
And,
this, I'll send
I'm just
it.
thinking out loud here, so okie doke. Now the bottom. Once we get we're going to put this in there and get an estimate or get it confirmed. Either way, it only takes one officer or two officers with one officer and the treasurer to put the purchase order in, and I want to get that verified or confirmed. And
Okay. I'm just there. This one. Oh, that's not it either. Oh.
And Joe, I
Yeah.
have just talked to Bob, and hopefully Bob will be joining our meeting very shortly.
oh, very
Oh,
good.
Willie. Oh, terrific. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. Well done. Here we go. Here's what I'm looking for. Okay, so yeah, so this is this is the list to follow. So we'll get that to you, and also the this here, how we're dividing everything up, and I think we're going to end up doing pretty well here. So we're good there. Okay, John, how are you? What's going on in your world?
I just got one question that I was just thinking about just a few minutes ago. Because I noticed that you're 3464 over right now. Are we using there's a certain amount of money allocated by the club every year for repeater operations. Are we using any of that money, or is that money, because we never use it? So are we using any of that money maybe to cover up that shortfall a little bit?
That's a very good point.
Bob has transferred the 2,000 from the club into the dart fund. So that's put in there on top of the,
So that leaves us just 1,400 short then.
well, I don't know. I haven't really compared the numbers. I haven't really sat down to look where the shortfall is here, but
We're 3464 over. So if you take 2,000 from that, that leaves 1,464.
well, I follow that, but you know, this 40% that you had there, that's with the labor and so forth. Boy, that's a big hunk of it right there. That I don't know how they come up with that. I don't know how much.
I'll tell you how this is where it came from, and again, it's worst case. So I went on, of course, the internet, and I looked up tower climbers for what their their hourly rate is, average hourly rate for tower climbers. You got to kind of hunt for it, but you can get it, and it is based on their base time. This is probably way over, and especially if we get the guys in the building to work with us. This was put together when we had no clue what it was going to take to put this thing together. So you can see we have 8 hours of straight time, 4 hours of overtime. Well, I think the whole job can be done in 4 hours, I believe. But certainly, I don't think we'll be getting into any overtime or whatever. We may need a permit. I don't think we do, but in case we do, we got a couple $100 in there, or need a building permit to do this.
No,
I hope
don't
not.
go the permit route. Don't do it.
You can't, you got to go with what the building policy is. I can't, that's whatever the building wants, that's what we're going to have to do. I'm not going to bring it up, but,
Right, don't.
and why not though? I mean, that's,
You'll find
anyway,
out what the government will do to you.
You're asking for trouble there.
Yeah,
We're not adding anything to it. We're not a new.
No,
we are
we're
just
just
maintaining.
right.
right. We're just replacing. We're not adding.
Okay. All right. No, I think we're more than adequately covered here. So to Len's point, to look at using some of this labor to cover the overrun, that the remainder, maybe that might be very possible when we get more realistic sense of what the labor is going to cost. But I think we're going to make out well on that.
On that filter that you showed us up just a couple slides ago there,
Oh.
For you say a little extra money, you could have a better filtered system.
Oh, you're talking about the
That's something new to
duplexer.
me.
The
Yeah, the
duplexers.
duplexer.
He's
Yeah.
talking about the duplexer.
I'm
Yeah,
looking for
we
the
are
slide.
getting a good one. We already are getting the good one.
Good.
Yeah, we're getting the good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really studied that, so.
Oh, no, not this one. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. We'll get the right slide up here. Just to be clear. Oh, brother. Okay. Well, I won't hold it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're talking about, and this is what John is looking at, and he's cleared it. So we're good there. But again, so let me make sure I understand, Len. What are you saying again?
So there is quite a difference between the right chart and the left chart there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware of that. Here again,
It's the difference between, do you have 6 cylinders or 4 cylinders, right? Just like an engine, I suppose.
Oh, well,
If you
I
get the
got you.
6 cylinders, yeah, that's the 1456, and the 6 means the 6 cylinders, I suppose.
No,
And the 4 would mean the 4 cylinders.
no. That's a separation. We need 600 kilohertz separation.
No, we want 400.
Yeah,
Beg your pardon?
We
yeah,
want 400.
you are correct, Len, in that our separation is 600 kilohertz. That is
Right.
correct. And however, when you look, oops, I didn't mean to click on that. The one with the 6 cylinders, which is what we currently have, by the way, it's capable of 400 kilohertz separation, but it would be tuned to 600 because that's what we need. They could tune this to 600, but at the same time, the two nulls here would remain. They would just be separated by 200 kilohertz. Does that make sense?
Okay, I think I understand.
Yeah.
Now, is this other one will allow you to be as low as 400 kilohertz separation?
It
You have to have a higher quality or a higher specification in order to do that. It makes it closer. So you have to have a better fill. I get the idea now.
yeah. Yeah. And I think under normal circumstances, you could get away with this one that's the 600, the 4, we'll call it 4-cylinder version. But I'll tell you, during that time when all that phone equipment and all that interference and it's a good thing that what we had was a very capable duplexer.
You weren't on last night on Sunday night? We had the
No.
interference come back on us Sunday.
I wish I got.
And guess what though? John got in there and did something, and it went away.
Yeah, I was going to say just during the pre-net because the net itself
Yep.
was beautiful. The whole,
He was listening to the pre-net.
including a transmission from what do you say, Gregory? It's somewhere like umpteen miles west of Pinckney,
Yeah,
and it was
Really?
crystal
Yeah.
clear.
Oh, I talked to
Wow.
him.
yeah.
It was
Wow.
crystal clear, and he's like 30 miles west of Pinckney, or 20
Wow.
miles, something like that.
Yeah.
Gregory, Michigan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Oh,
talked to him.
that's a long ways
Did
away.
you? Yeah.
I know.
I think that was some VH abducting or something, but still, it was nice and it was clear. I mean, there was no static. There was nobody had a bad signal last night during the
Wow.
net itself. Nobody.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. So John, Mark. So John, is that everything, right?
Yep, for me.
Yeah. Okay, great. Mark, what do you got? What do you got for us?
I really don't have anything. Been listening here, but I don't have anything more to add to it.
All right. But we'll work together maybe a little bit. We'll get this paperwork sorted out with the folks there. Could use a little guidance on that. Hugh, are you there? If not, he stepped away just for a minute. So what about Les? What do you have to say? You always have to.
I came in late, so I don't
Yeah,
have any comment.
You don't have any
sorry,
comment?
guys. I was walking around the yard and lost my connection.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you got it back. We hear you loud and clear. Do you have anything to add to the conversation at all?
I don't. The only thing that as parliamentarian, when I'm listening to the radio,
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people out there who are very dissatisfied with the way they conceive that the repeater is working. And I think those of us like on this committee and those of us who know different should gently tell them things are going to be better and try and get them to stop downing out our repeater that we're working so hard to try and make the best one around. That's it as parliamentarian, and that's all I have to say.
Now, actually, ever since John last worked on the duplexer, this our repeater has been pretty good. I mean, there's noise and stuff once in a while. Sometimes you can't help it, but we've had a pretty good repeater the last few weeks, I think,
And
without any BS or anything. I mean, it's been a pretty good repeater the last few weeks. I've been happy.
and I think that's why he's anxious to get the new duplexers
Mhm.
and plug them in, and it's
Right.
looking good.
Then when we'll get the new system up, we'll just move it over to the,
Yeah.
we'll use it for now and then move it over when we get
I
the
don't
new
know
system running.
how much latitude we have. When we put that together, we have to put it in place wherever it's going to stay. I don't know if you want to take it apart to move it, because you can't move it when it's all together.
Depends
Well,
on how
I
you
think what
install
we're
it.
doing, I think what we're doing, the rack, we're building the rack in the garage, right? And we'll build everything there.
You want to be careful about moving. If you're going to put things in it, you don't want to put anything that's uh,
Well, yeah.
delicate or something like that in the rack.
Now, here's what I'm saying is first of all the equipment gets mounted in the rack, then it gets wired up nicely in wire harnesses and all that. And then when it comes time to move, what we do is pull the equipment out of the rack, or equipment that vulnerable, let's say. You don't have to pull everything out, but to make it reasonable, a couple 100 pounds, not more than that, then we can get it moved and then put the equipment back in. But all the wiring the harnesses and everything are all
Yeah, I follow. I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. So anyway, that's the idea today. All right. Does anybody have anything else?
You got Al, you haven't called on.
Is Al? I didn't know Al was here. Al,
See Al on here.
I hold on. Let me widen up. Oh, I do. Hello, Al. Sorry about that. I had to widen up my window here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm okay. Nothing to add.
Nothing
Now,
to
I
add.
get one thing about the installation of the antenna and whoever's installing it.
Yeah.
The way he might be able to save costs on getting it to the roof, if you're going to go with the collineal vertical, it might fit up the middle of the
Uh-huh.
stairwell.
We looked at, you know what? Absolutely no.
Okay.
We looked at that, but
Yeah.
you are correct. That is the way to do it in tall buildings like that most often.
And
Um,
the only other suggestion I would say, if it would save money,
yeah,
and it would be to scrap the vertical and go with the folded dipole, the multiple bay. You can take it up in the elevator and
yeah,
assemble it up there on the roof. That'd
yeah.
be I don't know how much it would save, but
Yeah, you pointed out that the GM repeater used that folded dipole, and they've had to repair it several times. And I didn't know um, about that until Saturday, when Hugh pointed out that thing doesn't hold up on top of a high building very well, and they had to take it down and re-weld it, I guess, a couple times. He was saying, and I didn't know about that, so it
That's
doesn't
weird
sound like
because
it'd be a real reliable system.
that's weird because almost every police department, fire department that I've ever seen, that's what they use is folded dipole.
Yeah,
They're cheaper though, a lot cheaper, right?
Oh, that's true. I
they always, yeah.
forgot about that part.
I'll tell you, this thing's performed for us for 40 years, 45 years. That's enough to convince me. Just don't change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, there's not to say there's aren't things that are broken, but that antenna, listen, we just heard that story all the way from west of Pinckney, right?
Yeah.
So when it works, it's working well. So we'll get those or duplexes and then we'll see how that goes. Okay. Anybody else?
Ask Bob about the.
Is Bob here now? Bob? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. Hi, thank you for joining. Thank you. We were just talking about, we're getting to that point where we're about ready. In fact, let me put up this slide because and so I'm going to send a few things that we talked about. Hold on. Here we
Thanks, Bob, for replying to my email and providing information for me.
go. Okay, so basically we're talking, so we have a list. We'll get this out to everybody right after the call. So we wanted to come up with some system of purchase orders. And so what I'm I mean, I'll, leave it how you want to do it. But what I would suggest is if we could do like the date of the order, 07/25, 2025 -1 -2 -3 -4. And then those would be if there's a change, it'd be like 1A, 1B, 1C, so on and so forth. But I'll reach out to Vera and see if she's interested in keeping that record for us, because she's in the construction business and that's what she does. So she's got some experience there. So the idea is, all right, so here's what we discussed. Just I'll bring you up to speed here. So, okay, so we have a duplexer. So what we did was, as you know, I divided this up according to the way the contract was written, and this is what it actually says. We have this area here of tools, connectors, supplies, and labor, which is basically contingency fund there. But our problem here is if you look at here, we're about 3,500 over, and the duplexer is 3,900, right? So then, all right, so if you want to stay within the framework, there's a few ways we can go about it. One thing this does not take into consideration, which I believe Len brought up, is the $2,000 that was transferred from the repeater maintenance fund to maybe cover that. Also, the other thing that we see down here, Bob, is this labor. This is all union labor, by the way. So we're going to have significant savings there on
Yeah,
that.
are we going to have our own guys do the labor?
No, we ideally, and we're working with the building. I would like the electrician who works in the building to do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Or the plumber, I suppose, could do it too. We prefer the electrician though. And he can do it for us. And as it's turned out, because we have the existing unit strut, it's really not that big of a job. And, so we're hoping that. So
Have we signed up with someone to do the labor? Because
Not yet.
I see that MI6 group didn't want to participate, but
Right. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't the job for them. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, we'd like the building electrician to do it, and they're, they know the building, they know the people there, they have security clearance, all that sort of stuff. So that would be the best of all options. We submitted the paperwork to them last Friday, and I will tell you, within 3 hours, I got a response. So that was very encouraging. So I thought okay. So I gave it a week. I was hoping to call today. I just wasn't able to, but I'll call tomorrow and I'll start following it up, and we'll see where we stand exactly in this process. And once we have their approval, and I really don't see a problem with it other than just the formality of all that. So anyway.
Hugh has contacted me and asked me to put together a purchase order, which is fine. I just need to know what stuff we're getting at what point.
Well, so here's what we'll do is we're going to ask Vera to do that, right? She has that experience. She works in construction, and that's what she does for those guys. And she can actually keep, I mean, unless you're certainly welcome to do it if you want. But she could help us in that area and keep, track everything and, be involved and so on in a, positive way. So give me a day or two to reach out and see where all that stands. But again, it's
I think I'd just as soon do that. She's not on the board. Well, she is a member of the club now, right?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, yes, right, yeah. But I'm sorry, what, so we need, okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure that I keep track of everything and its costs so we can report back to our,
Benefactor.
yeah, the, the digital group
Yes,
that
yes,
gave us the
yes.
grant.
Amateur Radio Digital Communications Group. Yeah,
Yeah, ARDC, right.
yeah, yeah. And if they need slides, we got lots of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So that's where all right. So let me put together something on paper, Bob, and I'll email you with kind of what my thoughts were here, and then I'll also copy you on the sheet on the Excel file and all that stuff. So that you have.
Okay, at this point, have we sent this antenna farm people, have we sent them our tax exempt documents?
I talked to John. I think he's the owner or manager at least, but I
Okay.
talked to him, John, and he would not take the information without a purchase order.
Oh, okay. So we send it
he-
in with the purchase order?
That's what he said. He does
That's fine.
he does
That's
with a
fine.
lot of corporate people and governments and everything. He says that's the way we need to do it. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and that list that that Joe has is what we want to turn into a PO, purchase order.
But exactly right. And everything is from Antenna Farm. And I have to remind myself why we're getting the Heliax somewhere else. There was a reason for it, and I don't quite remember what it was.
I'll ask Mike about it if he's the one that put it together there.
Okay, so the purchase order, do I need all these things on the purchase order?
Yes.
Except signal boosters?
Yeah, I would not buy the Heliax until we know what exactly where everything is going,
Okay.
because we don't know. And that would include, and well, it'll be marked according to what we buy, what we want to buy up front, which is, so not the Heliax, not the Heliax connectors. I mean, that's really the only thing that I see here off the list. So yeah, and I'll mark it before I send it out. And okay. Although what I don't see is I don't see shipping for the Heliax. Stuff could be heavy. Well, it depends how much we buy. Anyway, all right. This and much more. So that's all. That's what we have. Bob, you have anything else? Any other questions or anything?
No.
Great. All right, I'll send you the email, and that'll be that. So
That $400 shipping for the antenna, was that
Yeah.
included the whole order, or was that just the antenna that the $400 shipping costs?
just the antenna. But I will tell you from experience, when they ship the antenna, the antenna likely comes either in a wooden crate, not a big one, but a wooden crate, or a cardboard tube, one of those real strong cardboard.
Well, no, that something like that would be in a wooden crate.
Wooden crate, I would agree, probably, yeah. And then the other thing, well, the duplexer we're shipping separately, so that's not a big deal. The lightning protector, the other stuff is just little things. So even if it's shipped separately, it's not going to be a lot. But they might even throw it into the,
With
make
the
it
other
all
stuff.
one shipment or something. It would make the most sense, really.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions?
Are we gonna place the order next week?
We're
We're working
waiting.
on it with Bob. Bob. We're working on that.
Okay.
Plus.
We are. Our general approach right now is the order goes in, and we pull the trigger. So that's why we want everything locked and loaded and ready to go. So all we have to do is click the start button or whatever.
Well, Bob's check has to go through.
All righty.
I got a quick question
Yeah.
there, Joe. What is the Telwave single isolator and dummy load for 1980.
Hold on. You're talking about this?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's an RF isolator. It prevents RF, and this is really more of an issue when we had all that telephone equipment there. But also, don't forget, there's a radio station across the street. Channel 4 is like, you know, a half mile away. There's a lot of RF. But what these filters do is sometimes, under certain conditions, a transmitter, the antenna can also receive at the same time, and then that received signal goes back down the transmission line into the transmitter itself, the HPA, the high power amplifier, and mixes with the other signals and causes a third party mixing products and things of that sort. So what this does is it prevents that from happening, and that's why it's in there.
And
they're
we
pretty-
currently have one. Is that ours right now?
Oh yeah, that's ours. This is it. This is the
Has
top of
that
our.
ever has that been tuned or tested at all?
I The entire system has been tested as a whole, and
Because that's
it's
very interesting. Because that seems to be exactly what happens from time to time is the intermod, right?
right,
So
right.
if that
Well,
is supposed to alleviate it, yeah, it might
right.
be. Well, I guess it's a good item to get new, right? If we're gonna,
I think so.
yeah.
I think so. Remember, our life cycle here is like 40 years or something. So, and we have the means to do it, and we may not ever again have that opportunity. So, it
I
fits
gotta,
in.
I
Yeah,
gotta believe that John knows what it is because last night we had the noise on there and he heard it and he did something, he said, and it eliminated it. So
wow,
he's got to know what's happening.
good.
Well, you might want to make a note of it so that way other people might know as well in the future.
Yeah, he says he's filling
Yeah.
out a service report. That's what his documentation has been a service report.
Okay. Oh, good.
Which is our new policy, by the way, where we will begin documenting what's done, and we'll keep those service reports on the shared drive so everybody can access them. And that was a suggestion. Len, I think that was your suggestion, or Al, or somebody.
I was glad to hear that John's been doing that, or
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much.
No, well, no.
He's
Okay,
done it
and
for a long time. I mean, yeah. Not every,
the $400 in the shipping, is that a firm number? Is that their number? Or
yes.
is it our estimate?
It's our estimate, but if you go on their website and figure out the shipping for it, that's what they want to charge. So,
Okay.
so it's not our estimate. It's their estimate of the shipping. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a day for now. Thanks again for everybody gathering together, and it looks like we're getting very, very close here. I will say one thing about the equipment rack. You cannot work in that room until September anyway. So it makes sense to build it in the garage because it is so hot in that when we were up there the other day. I mean, it's like 100 degrees up there. So in September, things start cooling down a little bit. Average temperatures
It
start to
should.
drop, so a little more reasonable. On a nice day, it's beautiful up there, but on a hot day, it's hot. All right. Well, thanks again. We'll say goodnight, 73s, and we'll talk to you all very soon.